Hello and welcome to the third of our online reading list tutorials here at St Mary's University, Twickenham. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to edit an existing reading list that already exists on the system and to add resources such as books, journal articles and chapters to this reading list. So to get started, firstly we need to add the reading list to the My Lists menu under your particular account. So to do this, all I need to do is to search for the reading list by its module code using this tool in the middle here, select the reading list and click on the big Add to My List button on the right hand side here. Once that's happened, you'll get a green box here saying Already in My Lists, and then when you click on My Lists in the main menu just here, you'll see that the module has appeared on the list and is ready for editing. It's important to make sure that any lists that you are planning to edit have been added to this particular list on the system. If you don't do this, it can make bookmarking resources and adding resources to the lists more difficult in future. So now I'm ready to go in and edit the list. In this case, we're using a test list that I've created for this purpose called ABC 4000. So we just need to click on the list title and then press the edit button with the pencil and select Edit List. This opens up the list in edit mode, and as we described in tutorial 2, we have the main list content on the left hand side, and then we have the bookmarking list and the section options on the right hand side. So at this point it's important to note that the Talis system operates on the basis of bookmarks. These are essentially entries that can be reused across different reading lists and point to particular resources. These resources can include books, including ebooks, chapters within books, and also journal articles, discussion papers, or any other online resource that you can locate on the open internet. So in this case, we're going to start by adding a bookmark for a printed book that's held in the St Mary's Library. For bookmarking books and journal articles, we recommend that you use the St Mary's Summon Library Search tool. This is because this tool only brings back results for resources that are held in the St Mary's Library and does not allow you to bookmark things that are not already in the library collection. This is obviously best for students, as we can ensure that they actually can get access to resources that are recommended. However, if you wish to bookmark books that are not already available in the library, that's always possible. You can just use amazon.co.uk and follow the bookmarking procedure on that site instead. Okay, so just to bookmark a printed book that's already in the library, I have run a search here for Creswell Research Design, so I'm looking to bookmark John Creswell's book on research design for this particular module list, and this has come back at the top of the list here. As you can see, this is the first book listed on the summary results. In order to add a bookmark and add this to the reading list, all I need to do is click on the Add to My Bookmarks link, which I created earlier under tutorial 1. When I click on this, it adds a whole set of new links to the summary research search results here, and you can see that a bookmark to my reading list link has appeared on every single search result in the list. So I just need to click on the appropriate bookmark to reading list link, which in this case is the top entry here. This brings up the Talis bookmarking screen, and that displays the descriptive details for the book that you wish to bookmark. So you just need to quickly check that these details are correct, and they are in this case. So I'm now going to go ahead and click on Create and Add to List. This will add the bookmark directly to the list, and is generally the option that we recommend to make the process as quick as possible. So if I click on that button, you can see that it's brought up the list that I'm currently editing at the top, and it allows me to select which area of that list I want to add the resource to. This is because I've created a series of sections within this list, as we described in the previous tutorial. So I have a section for general reading, and then sections and sections for week by week readings as well. In this case, I'm going to add this resource to the general reading for module section. I can also add a particular note to the students here to add any recommendations about that book, and I can also add an importance status. The importance levels are quite significant because they allow the students to see which books are considered to be essential or recommended reading for each course. So essential readings are generally several books that the students must use in order to succeed on the module, whereas recommended and background reading are fairly obviously other reading that the students may wish to carry out. In this case, I'm going to list this book as essential for this particular module, and then I'm going to click OK, which will save the bookmark back to the system, and then it will return me to the summon page where I started with the search. Now that I've added that bookmark, if I just return back to the other tab I have open here, which is the reading list, which is open for editing, and if I just press F5 on my keyboard to refresh the screen, I can now see here that that book has been added to the reading list within the general reading for module section and has been assigned essential status as I've selected on the previous screen. The next type of resource that I'm going to demonstrate the bookmarking procedure for is a chapter within a book. So this is a fairly frequent requirement for students to read particular chapters week by week within the module. In this case, I want the students to read SPSS Survival Manual Chapter 2. So I now need to add a bookmark for that particular book, following the same procedure as before. So I select Add to Bookmarks at the top of my browser, and then select Bookmark to Reading List. When I get to this screen, there is now a difference because I need to specify which chapter I want the students to read. So to do this, I simply, under Add field, select the Has Part option. That's Has Part, and then click on Add, and this brings up a new tab which allows me to specify the chapter details for the book. Under Resource Type here, I select Chapter. This then pre-populates the information to some extent, but I need to ensure that I list which chapter I want the students to read. So in this case, this is Chapter 2. Also, it's a good idea at this point to add the pages or the page range that you want the students to read, just so they can identify it quickly. So under Add field, simply select Pages and click on Add, and then type in the page range, which in this case is pages 45 to 57. Once I'm happy with the details I've selected there, I simply click Create and Add to List as before, and then select the relevant section of the reading list, which once again here is General Reading for Module, and the importance for this book is Recommended. Once I've done that, I select OK again, and this saves the bookmark back to the Talis system and returns me out to the summon search that I started with. Now that I've created that chapter bookmark, I can now return to the reading list I'm editing, and once again press F5 on the keyboard to refresh that screen. And as you can see, it has added a new bookmark for that particular chapter. It knows that it's a chapter here and is telling the student that, and it's included the information I entered before. So that's a chapter bookmark that has now been added to the list. The next type of resource that I'm going to show you how to bookmark is the journal article, and these are obviously once again a common requirement on reading lists. The procedure for these is slightly different to books, and I'll just show you how to do that right now. So in this case, I've identified that I wish to add the journal article at the top of the screen here to the reading list. To do this, I need to first click through to the full text of the journal article. So I don't do this on the summon results screen like with books. I click on full text online, wait for the journal to load, and once I've verified that I'm at the publisher's website with the publisher's logo, I can then bookmark the journal article here by selecting Add to My Bookmarks, and then waiting for the Talis bookmarking screen to come up. I can then check that the descriptive information here is correct for that journal article, so this all looks good to me. But very importantly at this point, I need to ensure that the online resource link is correctly set. So to do this, I simply click on Link To, and then I need to change it from DOI to Open URL. So this needs to be set to Open URL in order for students to use the links correctly. So I'm now going to change that and select OK. Once I've done that, I can now click Create and Add to List as before, and in this case this is a week by week reading for the first week of the module, so I'm going to select that particular subsection, and I'm going to give this essential status because I want all the students to read it for that particular week, and then I'm going to click on OK to save the bookmark back to the Talis system. And as before, it will return you back to the point that you were at when you started adding the bookmark. And then if I return to the reading list and press F5 once again to refresh it, and then scroll down slightly, you can see that this journal article has been added here under week one, as I requested. Okay, the next type of resource that I'm going to show you how to bookmark is an online report or piece of information that's available on the internet openly and is stored in PDF format. In this case, it's usually best to bookmark the description page for the particular document rather than bookmarking the PDF file directly. This is because this is more likely to draw in good descriptive information for your bookmark and save you having to do too much editing afterwards. So in this case, I wish to add this particular statutory guidance from the gov.uk website to my reading list. So I've found the description page on the gov.uk site, and I can see that the links to the documents are here, and also a descriptive detail. So in this case, I'm going to select Add to my bookmarks, and then you can see that it's now identified the descriptive information from the gov.uk site based on what it's pulled from this page, and also, most importantly, the web address. In some cases, you'll find that this will not default to online resource automatically, so in that case you must ensure that this box is ticked here and that the web address has been correctly entered there. Once you're happy that all the information has been completed here, just select Create and Add to List, and then select the particular subsection as before and the importance level, and then click OK, and that will save the bookmark back to the reading list. As before, it will turn you out to the page that you were at before once it's added the bookmark. And the final type of resource that I'm going to show you how to bookmark in this tutorial is just a regular website that's openly available on the internet. So in this case, I'd like to link the students to the Times Higher Education website. So I simply need to navigate to the website as I would do normally when I was reading it, and then once I'm at the home page, select Add to my bookmarks. And then once the bookmarking tool comes up, I just need to check that I'm happy with the title that's been given. In many cases with websites, you'll have to modify the title at this point. So in this case, I'm going to remove the initial part of the title and just leave Times Higher Education as my link title, and then just verify the web address is correct and that online resource is ticked. That's all correct now, so I'm just going to create and add to list, and I'm going to add this to the second topic subsection and give that background as its importance level, and then select OK. And now once again, if I return to my reading list and press the F5 button on the keyboard to refresh it and then scroll down, you can see where my new bookmarks have been added. So here's the Times Higher Education bookmark. So now that I've got a few bookmarks on my reading list, I'm just going to show you how to manipulate those and to move them around, because it's fairly easy to move bookmarks around between lists or within lists and between sections. So firstly, if I've decided that I want to, for example, move this book, Keeping Children Safe in Education, from this section to the section above, all I need to do is click on the little arrow symbol here, hold down the mouse button and drag it to the section above. As simple as that to move things around. In addition, if I've got bookmarks on the right hand side here that I wish to add to this particular list, and these might be bookmarks I've created previously for a different list, then I can just locate the correct bookmark that I wish to add to the list, click on its arrow symbol, and then drag it across to the left hand side to where I want it. And then I can also set its importance level directly in the list here by clicking the relevant button and selecting my desired importance level. Within this main edit screen, I also have many options for changing the text headings and also removing items where necessary. So to remove a bookmark, it's simply a case of locating the bookmark you wish to delete and clicking the remove button and OK, and that will remove it from this list. Even though you've removed that from the list, the bookmark will still be available on your bookmarks list there should you wish to re-add it again. I can also edit the headings for particular sections here by selecting on the relevant edit button there and then retyping what I wish there and then clicking save. And then the final edit button to be aware of is the Edit Notes and Importance button underneath each bookmark. Selecting that just allows you to change the importance level that you previously specified, and then also allows you to type notes that the students can see, and these are often very useful if you wish to give your particular view on a book. Type a really simple one here to demonstrate. and then save that comment back. Then you can see that that comment has appeared as a student note underneath the bookmark. Right, so now that we've created a basic list and we're fairly happy with the contents, it's now time to publish the list so that students and anyone else who wishes to read it can see it. So you can see that we have two options on the top right here, publish and save draft. Save draft is most useful when you're still working on the list and wish to come back to it later, whereas publish will immediately publish the entire list to students and allow them to see it. So at this point I'm going to select publish, and then I'm also going to request a review. Requesting reviews is an important process that allows library staff to check through the contents of the list and ensure that the university has appropriate library resources for students to access. So at this point I'm going to request a review for this particular module. At this point you also need to confirm the number of students that you're expecting on the module, and it's quite important this is an accurate estimate. And then after checking that detail, simply press on the request review button, and that will send a review request to the library team at St Mary's. Once you've done that, you can then click publish and then publish again, and this will make the list visible to everyone within the university. So thanks for watching this third tutorial in the series. Just as a recap, this tutorial has shown you how to edit an existing list on the system and how to bookmark various different common types of resources that you may wish students to read. And it's also shown you how to set importance levels and to manipulate the bookmarks within the list. Finally, it's shown you how to publish the list and request a library review to ensure that the relevant library resources are available to our students. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again for one of the future tutorials.